Hey guys, it's me, I'm Surefire Tactics. Yes, I'm finally posting another video with my face, that way you guys can oh so lovingly gaze upon it. Anyway, apparently lots of people are having problems with Triti, so I decided that I would make a bit of a tutorial and help them out. So, let's just pick the first Triti mission that we have here, which is 310 Pandora's Box. And then we'll go straight to it. Now, the real problem that a lot of people seem to have is they don't entirely know how Triti works in its regeneration. Most people usually tend to just activate the healing touch at the start of the operation and then immediately just immediately excise all the thorns, which does work. Which I guess I'll do that first, just to show you guys that yes, that is indeed a valid method that you can use. You know, you can basically just activate the healing touch at the beginning of the operation and then just we got a miss there. Oh no. Oh well, I'm not going to lose a whole lot of sleep out of getting a miss because I still have plenty of time to excise out all these thorns. But yeah, as you can see, you know, if you just want to cheese your way past any operation and you don't particularly care about the rank that you get, you can do this. So don't entirely feel bad about doing this because a lot of people that I know still use this method, and to be perfectly fair, sometimes when I just want to get a move on, I do this too. But, you know, it does work, but you know, some people want to learn how to do Triti legitimately, so I'll show you how to do that. Like I said, you know, if you don't care about oh shoot, my Wiimote has died apparently right as I completed the operation. I'll be right back once I get my Wiimote some more batteries. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that little distraction, but as I said earlier, if you don't care about taking your C, just use the healing touch at the beginning and you'll basically be fine. If that's the way you want to do it, there's no problem in doing that. But now I'm going to show you how to do it in case you are one of those people who wants to get either high grades or you take satisfaction killing Triti the legitimate way. For demonstration's sake, I'm going to be doing this on hard, just so that those of you who are planning on going for those marvelous XS ranks have a general idea of what you're supposed to be doing. So let's just, oops, yeah, sorry about that, that didn't happen. Alright, let's open up the patient for real this time. Okay. So, a couple things to know about Triti before you actually start treating it is first, Triti bodies can never ever spawn on the outside edges of the organ, or they can't ever go outside the organ. So thorns like this, you never ever have to touch. You never have to worry about them. You only ever have to worry about the thorns of the triangles that you're actually excising. First off, let's say I wanted to get rid of this blue triangle right here, because obviously it's doing more damage to the vitals. So what I need to do is I need to, well obviously I need to excise these thorns, but if I wanted to figure out which thorns I need to remove, the basic rule is to basically remove every other thorn from all the triangles so that there are never two consecutive triangles from a Triti body that can come out. So basically what you need to do is, well, we've already ruled out that we don't need to pull those out unless we actually want to excise those particular triangles. Oh yeah, by the way, the Triti will never actually regenerate as long as you do nothing, so I can actually talk as long as I want or wait out the timer, and the Triti will never do anything. It can only ever regenerate when you actually pull out a triangle, or if you leave a triangle all by itself, which I'll get to that later. So, if I wanted to remove this triangle, I would need to remove this, well, these three obviously, and one of these two particular thorns. This way, all of the thorns that could potentially spawn a Triti triangle, because there are two of them in a row, won't be there. So, just to give a visualization, so this. Now, I'm not going to pull out one of these two thorns. Let's say I purposely forget one, and we have a Triti triangle spawned there as well. Because there were two consecutive thorns here, and since the triangle could go here, it spawned it there. So let's actually get rid of that particular triangle. Well, actually, I want to get rid of this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move these two, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And there you go. Nothing regenerated that time. Now, you may have noticed one isn't spawning up here, even though there are two consecutive thorns in a row. That's because there's no Triti piece connecting the two of them. As long as there isn't a Triti piece connecting the two thorns, another piece will never spawn there. So, now let's get rid of those two triangles down there at the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing. And usually whenever a Triti gas appears, I usually just leave it alone until I'm done working on that particular Triti, or whatever piece I just so happen to be working at the time. So, once again, we're going to continue. Those two, this, 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 and this. Get rid of the gas. So now we only have 3 particular treaty pieces left. And whenever you get down to a situation like this, where you get down to your last couple of pieces, you need to be extremely careful in order to remove all of the treaty pieces all at once. But first I'm going to get down to 2 treaty pieces to make this a little easier for myself. When you're down to only 2 pieces left, you need to be extremely careful, because what can oftentimes happen is, if you don't pull out these 2 pieces fast enough, you're going to get this. And this is the case that happens whenever you have an isolated triangle all by itself. If a thorn appears or regenerates while you're too slow in pulling out this last triangle, when the thorn reappears, it will try to make copies around every single side of the triangle that it possibly can. Obviously, a piece didn't come here because, you know, it's the outer edges of the organ, so it's not going to show up there. So you need to be extremely careful in pulling out all the remaining treaty pieces if you plan on getting them all out before it all starts regenerating again. So let's get rid of this. Oh, I actually have to get rid of that one too, otherwise it would have spawned another piece right there. So now we're down to 2 pieces again. So we're going to do this really quickly, as long as that one comes up. Get rid of all of these. By the way, I don't know whether or not Triti can still reappear even after you get the defeat. So I'm pretty sure it can't, but just make sure that the gas doesn't cause any more problems for you. I really should test that, but I've never had it happen with me. So that's how Triti works kind of in a nutshell. Basically, as long as you remove every other thorn so that there are never 2 consecutive thorns in between 2 pieces of Triti, then you will never have a treaty piece respawn. I'm actually going to do the same operation again, but I'm going to do it a little faster this time. Maybe not as fast as I would normally play it, but I'm still going to be doing it rather quickly. So, let's do this again. Hopefully I won't get a miss right away, because that would really suck. That was actually really close. I drifted off a lot to the right. Alright, so let's do this a little faster than last time. So we're going to move this, 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 and this. Get rid of these 3 treaty pieces. Look, got nothing regenerated, see? Because I'm removing every other thorn. So we're going to do the same thing. Once again, leaving the gas basically for last, because the gas will never be in a situation where you absolutely have to get rid of it first. Yeah, see, especially situations like this. If you are too slow, the gas, once again, can respawn treaty pieces, but typically I'm never in that situation, so it's not really all that big of a deal. Bandage. Alright! So that's 310. That's the easiest treaty mission, so definitely come here to practice, but otherwise you might want to pick another treaty mission that some people tend to have a few issues with. And that's 5-3, Shifting Guild. So I'm actually going to drop down there really quickly. Now, we're going to do this treaty operation as well, just to show you guys that this basically works for every single treaty operation. And you will need to do this if you plan on playing through harder modes. You can get through hard mode doing it the Healing Touch method, but you won't get good ranks. Alright, so here we go. We have another treaty puzzle here. Now, quickly looking at the board, I can see I pretty much won't need to touch these or these until basically the very end. So, we're going to remove this. Try to follow along as I do this. This one, need to get rid of this one, this one, this one, this one. Get rid of those 2. Take it one segment at a time. You definitely don't want to try to remove too many treaty pieces at once, otherwise you're probably going to get a lot of misses. Now I want to get rid of this other triangle segment, or this double triangle segment here. Oh, see, look at all those thorns that respawned. Sorry about that, let me actually try that again. It's a little too slow there.
Let's begin the operation.
Actually, it wasn't me being slow, it was me not removing enough triangles. Got a little greedy there. That's what happens if you try to get a little greedy with this and you try to remove too many triangles at once. So, don't do that. I will be doing the same thing though, so move this, 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 this. Get rid of those. Alright. So now we're basically just going to wait a little bit. Also, definitely make sure to wait for all the thorns to spawn again before removing any of your triangles, because that's another way you usually tend to score misses.
Proceed as normal.
Get rid of that gas. So we only have 3 treaty pieces left. Get rid of this one. And I always try to make sure that it's only 2 treaty segments left, so that I don't have to worry about too much. And there you go. That's another treaty mission complete. Like I said, it's all about just making sure that you happen to have all of your... you need to make sure that you have all every other thorn and not pulling out every single thorn. Basically, just every thorn that's on the edge of a treaty piece, go every other one, and you'll be just fine. So that's the last normal treaty mission. I'm going to be doing Fallen Heroes, but I'm only going to be doing the first segment of it, just to tell you guys of something else that you can do. Now, 5-7 is a little different. The last 2 treaty operations, you may have noticed that we haven't been using the Healing Touch because it's actually a special bonus not to use it. However, for 6-7 Fallen Heroes, you are actually allowed to use your Healing Touch for this one. You will not be penalized at all for doing it. So, if you're good at dealing with Deptera and you don't need the Healing Touch in order to do it, by all means, go right ahead and use the Healing Touch on this one, but I'm also going to show you how to do it here. So, we're going to remove this top triangle segment here. So, just like that. And basically, I'm just going to work my way from this over here. So, let's get this one. I actually want to get rid of that. Another thing to keep in mind is, along with making sure that you allow all the thorns to regenerate before pulling them out, you want to pull the thorn, or you want to excise the treaty pieces generally in the same order that you removed the thorns from. It sounds kind of silly, but it's a mistake that I make a couple of times. I'll try to, I'll remove thorns from, this area, but, and then work my way over here, but then I'll try to remove pieces from this area, and then I won't have enough time to excise those if I try to get them. So just make sure that when you're trying to excise the actual pieces themselves, make sure that you excise the treaty bodies in the same order that you pulled out each of the thorns.
We're in good shape.
So that's the treaty segment of Fallen Heroes, just in case you ever wanted to know how it's played normally. Like I said earlier, you can use the Healing Touch on this one. You will not be penalized whatsoever for doing it. I think this is actually the only time you're ever allowed to use your Healing Touch. I'm going to be also going through X3 as well, just to show you how to play through this one, just to show you that the same sort of rules still apply, so you can get kind of the general idea of what you're supposed to be doing. This is probably not going to be an excess, though, because this is probably actually going to be the exact same speed that I play at. I will say one thing, though, with X3, don't try to remove more than I'd say 1 or 2 bodies. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a couple problems. Usually having pins spawn in places you don't want them to. Alright. So now I want to get those 2 triangles down there at the bottom. Just like that. Excellent. It's probably not going to be an excess. Alright, we only have 2 triangles left. Should be going rather well. This one. Oh. And there you go. See, that was a pretty painless guild extraction. I'm going to be doing this with Naomi as well, even though it's the exact same operation, so I'm going to be doing it in the exact same order anyway. Oh yeah, I got an S, yeah. That kind of sucked. Oh well. But then again, X3 is one of those operations you kind of have to wait around a little bit for the gas to spawn anyway, so it's not really all that big of a deal. Alright. So this is the last treaty mission in the entire game. Once again, try to follow along in case you ever want to know how to beat this operation. So this, two. Although I am extracting it in a different order. Just to shape things up. Should get rid of that blue triangle at the top there. Let's get rid of this. Okay. That. Oh, there we go. Almost had that respawn on me. That would have been very bad. So now all we gotta do is just bandage this guy up. And there you go. So, there you go. That's Treaty in a nutshell. Just as long as you remove every other thorn from each of the treaty bodies, and you make sure that you don't leave any isolated triangles all by themselves, you'll be fine. You'll get your access rank or your S rank if you don't do them correctly, apparently. So, I hope this helped you out. I might make other tutorial videos in the future, but don't count on it because really Treaty is just about the only thing that is kind of difficult in this game. But if people ask me, I'll show them how to do it. But anyways, thank you for watching. I'll probably be making more stuff in the future, maybe a little bit more frequently. But yeah, there you go. Hope you all have a nice day.